The scholarship from God. There was a guy by the name of Christopher who have strong faith in God. He grew up in church and knows that faith is a key that opens up any door. After high school he applied to a college of his choice that he really wanted to attend and he got accepted. He didn't have the first dollar to put towards the tuition fee and he didn't want his parents to pay for it. He was stressing over the matter but he heard about a scholarship and got the application form for it. After that he and his dad went to his high school to get the relevant documents such as a transcript to present with the scholarship. When he and his dad was walking towards the office, he saw the vice principal and the vice principal knew him to be a well-behaved student and also a scholar, so he told him about a scholarship the past students had just approved in the morning before he arrived. God worked it out that he didn't go for the transcript before the scholarship was brought to the institution's attention but after, so he could apply for that one as well. The vice principal sent him to the principal's secretary to get the application form, and that scholarship was specifically for the college he got accepted for. He signed up the application form and get the transcript and other relevant documents that was required, then dropped it off at the main office. After that he got a call to go in for the interview. When he got the call, he got down on his knees and prayed to God, telling him to secure the scholarship for him. He prayed and he believed that God could do it. He never had any doubt in his mind that the scholarship would be his, but he knew that God answers those who call on him. On the day of the interview he woke up early, prayed, and his dad dropped him off at the institution. He reached at the institution long before the interviewers and other applicants. When the interviewers came he was the only one there seated, and when he went in for the interviewers were impressed by his punctuality because someone else's name was called before his for the interview but that person didn't reach as yet. He nailed the interview and they liked everything he said in there. After leaving the interview he saw other applicants just reaching the venue and he thought to himself that the fact that they are late may give him some form of leverage over them. A few weeks later he received a call to inform him that he got the scholarship. He was so happy. He started thanking God and he went down on his knees and started to pray, just thanking him for all he has done for him. His faith in God is the main reason he got that scholarship, because he had no doubt in his mind that he would get it. After getting it he wrote a letter of appreciation to the institution and brought it and dropped it off at the principal's office. He got a scholarship that paid for him to study for 4 years, which means it paid for both his associate degree and his bachelor's degree. Who could it be but God? God worked it out and paid for both his degrees. God is great and greatly to be praised. What he did for Christopher is nothing simple. He worked a big miracle in his life and gave him another testimony. When you trust God he will always come through for you. While Christopher's peers were stressed about tuition fees he didn't have that worry. All he needed to do was maintain a GPA of 3.0 and he could keep his scholarship. Now, that was not hard for him to do because he is a scholar and he takes pride in his schoolwork. While going through college he met up on other difficulties, but financial issues wasn't one of them. God always provided funds for anything he needed to get done, and that built his trust in God because he knows God will always provide even when it doesn't seem that way. His first year in college was good, but when he got to second year, COVID-19 struck and learning online became a bit challenging. He handled it well, but it was a bit difficult for him because his internet connection wasn't so strong, and so when he was in class, his device would normally glitch and he would miss out on important things that the teacher says. His determination to learn led him to pull up research online based on his field of study, and he used those research to study and he was successful. He went through a lot mentally for the remaining 2 years because the devil realized that he was on the Lord's side and he was doing everything to distract him from Jehovah. He hit him with depression, which caused him to feel down in spirit. He tried to make himself happy, but he just wanted to die. Things went on like that for a while, and in order to release his bottled up emotions he started making songs about his feelings. He got hurt by a friend that he really trusted, and that is what triggered his depression and made him feel like no one cared for him. He was away from home and at an institution with majority of the occupants being persons he doesn't know. He had a few friends, but because he got hurt by that one friend, he was very skeptical with the others because of that same reason. He started making music and uploaded them on SoundCloud, he was actually getting some traffic on his SoundCloud page, but it wasn't enough to blow him up. He got devastated because of that as well, and as much as he loves music, he sorts of felt like God didn't wanted him in the music industry. After that he started paying less attention to music and focused solely on his studies. After some time, he was able to get over his depression, but then Satan attacked him again with something that would further fracture his mental health. Satan influenced some people to fabricate lies about him and spread it. Satan's intention was to push him deeper into depression to the point where he would hurt himself, but he had God, so he would never commit self-harm. He was struggling with day-to-day activities because people were spreading terrible lies on him, and it was really creating damage to his character. Each day he normally put on a show and act as if he is happy when in fact he was very unhappy. He didn't have anyone to talk about what he was really going through, so he kept his feelings bottled up. None of his friends knew what he was going through exactly, they just know he wasn't himself. It affected his studies, but he trusted in God and God allowed him to push through. It was hard for him to stay focused and he became insecure about what others may think about him. He prayed to God for deliverance, but the more he prayed, the worse his situation got, and he thought to himself that God didn't care about him. He questioned God, but he never cursed him, he was just frustrated about everything that going on in his life. The devil made use of the time when he had doubts in God. The devil tried to tell him that God doesn't love him and he should end his life. Satan even told him how to end his life, but he did not surrender to Satan. Instead he did what was right and rebuked him. When you cause havoc in my life, Jesus is the one who comforts me. When you push me down, he is the one who lifts me up. When you tell me lies, he is the way, the truth, and the life, shouted Christopher to Satan as his spirit got upset. He went into a 3-day fasting where he fasted from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and even though he had strenuous activities to do in the daytime, God gave him strength to go without food. After that 3 days fast he got delivered from the spirit of depression and he was doing much better. He became happier and nothing that the enemy used to destroy him wasn't getting through to him. Without God he couldn't have made it. He probably would have ended his life, but the close relationship he had with God hindered him from giving in to Satan's tactics. Even though he was free for a while, the devil attacked him again by firing arrows at his self-esteem, and once again he was saddened, but he got baptized and this time he had the Holy Spirit to strengthen him. Daily he had to hold up his head and walk as though nothing is wrong with him when his entire character was being teared down and there was nothing he could do about it. You know, negativity, it spreads faster than any other thing, and so people was spreading lies on him and they kept doing it until the entire institution knew about it. Now at this point, if he didn't have God, then he may have thrown in the towel, because this time was worse than the other time. The devil pursued him harder because he gave his life to Christ and he wanted him to backslide, but he had made up his mind and had no plans on turning back. He prayed and fasted and that gave him strength to carry on, and even though the devil tried to attack his studies, God gave him the strength and he was able to complete his degree. He didn't only complete his degree, but he was the valedictorian. Who could it be but God? What the enemy meant for evil, God has turned it around for his good.